Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. And welcome to this daily market update. Today on the crypto markets, we'll take a look at some other things surrounding the market as well, because today we have some major news coming in again. And yes, that's big news again. And I'm most likely going to say the same tomorrow, right? I mean, yesterday, of course, we had the FOMC meeting. I wanted to briefly speak upon that because yesterday I made a video before that, but since then we have seen some pretty crucial developments. But then today we have the core PCE price index, which is basically inflation rate data, especially with the FOMC press conference yesterday. That matters a lot. And then tomorrow we have unemployment rate and non-farm payrolls data, and that also matters quite a lot. And then we also have a ton of earnings data coming out throughout the weeks as well. So, aka, there's a lot going on, which I think you need to know about. So that's what we'll talk about in this video. But we'll also just take a look at Bitcoin. What happened after the FOMC yesterday, I think was quite crucial and good to see. We'll briefly talk about Ethereum. We'll briefly talk about XRP, even though my thoughts on those have not really changed, to be fair, in the last 24 hours. And technically also not much has happened. And then I will highlight a couple of altcoins that I think are interesting. Currently, I'm not home, so that's why I'm doing these daily market updates, right? So to at least, stay in touch with the markets and to be able to update all of you. The Signal group and the Premium group are still running full time, though. And I am keeping my eyes on those, and I am sending signals in those. So if you're interested in that part of the crypto world, and if you're interested in making some money on the side, trading, but also becoming a better trader and investor yourself, consider joining that. But that's up to you. I mean, it may not be your thing, or it may be. But yeah, for now, let's get right into it. So the most important thing about the market right now is the news, right? So yesterday, we had the Federal Reserve interest rate decision that stayed the same. That was to be expected. We all knew that was going to stay the same, right? There was like a 97% chance that would happen. However, since then, and this is something I don't really like, this has happened, right? So yesterday I told you have to keep your eyes on the prediction markets and what they say regarding the number of rate cuts that we can have. And what you want to see is that we're going to get 2 rate cuts, right? 2 rate cuts would be the best case scenario for this year. And at this point of time, if you check the last day, you can see that 2 rate cuts has decreased quite a bit in percentage. Yesterday morning, it was still sitting at about 38%. At this point of time, it's sitting at 30%. And that's generally bearish. I mean, Bitcoin has been relatively strong, and that's good to see. And we'll talk about that in a moment. That's generally bearish. Now, that's where the news of today comes in. Today we have inflation rate data. If that actually comes in lower than expected, I think the probabilities of getting 2 rate cuts will increase again, which in turn will be bullish, right? So that's going to happen at 12:30 UTC. So that's what you can see right here. PCE price index, core PCE price index. It's expected right now that the core PCE price index will be 2.7% year on year, and the PCE price index will be 2.5% year on year. You want those numbers to be lower than expected. If those are lower than expected, the markets behave quite strangely sometimes when it comes to news data, right? I mean, news can come in bullish and then the price still drops down. News can come in bearish and the price still rallies. In this case, I genuinely do think that good news would equal a bullish move. So keep your eyes on this. I mean, this is in general quite important, but especially right now, when the volume is actually quite low, it's going to put a dent in the markets, and it's going to cause quite a lot of volatility. So be aware of that, be prepared for that, and keep your eyes on that. I mean, I will definitely keep you all updated on that as well as I can, but that will most likely be tomorrow. So that's the major news today. The general fundamentals around the market right now are still fine. The S&P 500 is absolutely rallying right here, which is great to see for all of us that hold stock portfolios. Others is finding balance here, so that's good as well. The total 3 also finding balance. You could say that they're forming some sort of a bullish flag, but so in general, fundamentally on the markets, I am still bullish. I have to be, right? I mean, if you take a look at all the fundamentals, I think you will always come to the conclusion that at least at this point of time, we are still bullish. Could that turn around? Yes. At this point of time, we're fine. Now, one of the things that also helps is the reaction that we had of Bitcoin yesterday. You can see yesterday after the FOMC, because of the changing expectations, Bitcoin dropped down, but then we got a beautiful spike right here down to the 30-day rolling VWAP. We got 2 POCs at the bottom of the candle. That's always great to see. And we held balance, all right? So Bitcoin itself is just incredibly balanced still between 116.8 and 119.5. And the fact that we're able to get such a strong reaction after bearish news like that, which is actually pretty major, is good, I think, all right? And I don't think, look, the volume right now is getting really low because we're entering the real summer. So the volume is getting really low. So I don't really expect a sustained breakout, but I do expect stability. And stability over the longer term, over the medium term, I think is actually good. So that's good to see. Now, like I said, Ethereum and XRP still look the same. XRP looks absolutely consolidating here. So that's what you can see right here, consolidating between $3, where we also have the 30-day rolling VWAP, and 3.4, which I think we can still reach into, but I also don't expect us to break out. And then Ethereum looks best. Look, Ethereum is actually still holding the uptrend on the 4-hour time frame, which barely any coins are doing right now. It's relatively stable and it has some decent volume still as well. So no, I mean, Ethereum still looks best right here. Some Ethereum beta tokens are also still gaining quite a lot of momentum. So that's what I think regarding majors. ETH BTC, by the way, is also still holding up fine. And when we're talking about other altcoins, like I said, the general altcoin indices still look fine. Like others, if you go to the daily time frame, is still in an uptrend, but I think because of the summer market circumstances, it's stalling a bit and it has lost momentum. But even though it has lost momentum, I still think it's most likely we're going to see bullish continuation, since it is still holding not only the uptrend, but also the 30-day rolling VWAP and the yearly rolling VWAP. And when we're talking about specific altcoins, there's not necessarily that many. Athena is still incredibly strong, so that's great to see. And then the ones I wanted to highlight in this video are 2. And that's first of all, Pump. All right, so Pump.fun. You can see right here that has broken out of some sort of a balance right here with quite a lot of volume. So that's going to be interesting to see. I mean, it can always be a bull trap, of course. But this could be the start of a reversal, which we've also spoken about last week when I covered Pump in a dedicated video. And definitely want to keep your eyes on, right? So that's I think most of you know, but that's Pump. And then the second one is Ton. Ton on the higher time frames is at a major resistance level right here at 3.5, 3.55. If we're able to actually get a breakout above that on the higher time frames, I could see this rallying. I mean, Ton is a crypto that, regardless of market strength, can actually rally quite a bit, even when the market is stable or when there's not much going on. So keep your eyes on that as well, right? So that's the open network, or the Telegram open network, as it was known previously, Ton. And that's what I think you need to know for now. So like I said, keep your eyes on the news coming out. There's something else I'll talk about tomorrow, which I forgot to talk about in this video fundamentally, but it's not that important, I'd say. So I'll tell you about that later. But for now, that's it. Have a great day, and bye.